of and patient. The program will begin shortly in a few minutes. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Salam UiTM di hatiku. The Honourable Yang Berusaha Profesor Madya Dr. Ismadi Mat Badarudin, Deputy Dean of Student Affairs Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences UiTM. Yang Berusaha Profesor Madya Dr. Tajur Rosli Razak, Program Coordinator for CDCS 230, Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences UiTM. Profesor Teknologis Dr. Anita Wati binti Muhammad Lokman, Program Advisor for CDCS 251, Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences UiTM. Puan Nordiana binti Misran, Program Advisor for CDCS 230, Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences UiTM. The esteemed Dr. S. Raja Mohammed, Associate Professor and Head of Department Computer Science and Engineering. Good morning to all the guests, respected lecturers, fellow students and participants joining us from India and UiTM.
As a symbol of respect, unity, and patriotism, I would now like to invite everyone to stand for the singing of Negaraku, followed by Wawasan Satyawarga UiTM.
untuk negara, penuh semangat wajar. Kita jangan mudah terlupa pengorbanan perjuangan anak bangsa. Kita jangan mudah terleka kemajuan keamanan yang ada. Kita berterima kasih pada pemimpin-pemimpin negara. Kita rasa penuh bersyukur kerahmatan kemuliaan darinya. Kamilah penyambung pewaris bangsa, kamilah penerangan bangsa Malaysia, kamilah warga berwawasan.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Before we proceed any further, I would like to invite Anan Rijal bin Abdul Rauf to lead the recitation of Dua. With all due respect, please welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Hakim. May I invite you to raise your hands as we begin this gathering by reciting Surah Al-Fatiha and seeking Allah's blessing and guidance through our opening prayer. Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم إنك خلق العظيم، إنك سميع عليم، إنك غفور رحيم، إنك رب الأرش العظيم، إنك البر الجواد الكريم. O Allah, you are the creator of all mankind and the source of all wisdom. We thank you for bringing us together across borders, oceans, and time zones today for this Sulam International Webinar, Digital Ethics 101 Ethics in AI for Higher Education. We ask you to pour down your mercy, blessing, and infinite guidance upon every organizer, speaker, and participant logged into this virtual space. Allahumma ya Karimu ya Rahim. Bless this educational initiative. Guide our minds so that we can bridge the gap between classroom theory and real-world practice. Give us the sincerity, compassion, and passion to use our education and skill to solve community issue and uplift the society around us. Ya fa'alul liman yurid. O Allah, grant clarify of tongue and confidence to our speakers and open the hearts of our audience to absorb beneficial knowledge. We seek your protection against any technical failures, internet disruption, or distraction that could compromise our program. Make this webinar a source of inspiration, smooth collaboration, and immense success. Rabbana alaika tawakkalna wa ilaika anabna wa ilaikal masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin, Amin, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you to Anan Rijal for the meaningful recitation just now. May today's program run smoothly and bring beneficial knowledge to all participants.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Webinar, Digital Ethics 101, Ethics in AI for Higher Education. We are pleased to be your MC of ceremony for today's program. My name is Safwa Atifah binti Muhammad Buad, and together with my co-MC,
My name is Moman Hakimi Binurdin. We will be guiding you throughout today's session. On behalf of our organizing committee, we would like to warmly welcome and thank everyone for joining this meaningful international webinar. Today's program offers an opportunity for us to explore the ethical aspect of artificial intelligence and its impact on modern society. As AI technology continues to grow rapidly, discussion on responsibility, fairness, and ethical awareness are becoming more important in shaping a better digital future. Without further ado, I would like to invite the Deputy Dean of Student Affairs of Faculty of Computer and Mathematical Sciences, Professor Madya Dr. Ismadi Imad Badarudin, to deliver the opening speech for this program.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone. First and foremost, thank you to the Master of Ceremony for the warm introduction. This esteemed Professor Technologist Dr. Anitawati binti Muhammad Luqman, Program Advisor for CDCS 251, Puan Nodiana binti Misran, Program Advisor for CDCS 230, and Dr. S. Raja Muhammad, Associate Professor and Head of Department Computer Science Engineering. Student and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Alhamdulillah, praise to be Allah SWT, by whose grace and blessing we are able to gather here today. Let me extend a warm welcome to our honored guests and participants. I'm indeed pleased that FSKM has been entrusted to host Sulam International Webinar Digital Ethics 101 Ethics in AI for Higher Education. This webinar serves as an important platform to introduce the community on key ethical issues. Undeniable, this event is possible with great assistance and support from our strategic partner, KIP Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe in an era where the advancement of artificial intelligence has altered almost every aspect of our life. It has reshaped our industries and changed the way we interact with the world around us. However, it is crucial to implement this technology correctly. AI may cause more harm than good if we ignore ethical concerns surrounding it. Therefore, today's discussion plays a vital role in integrating technology and morality. The theme, Digital Ethics 101 Ethics is AI for Higher Education, speak to the urgent need for responsibility and integrity within our academic environment. Making ethical decisions regarding the use of AI in teaching, learning, and research is increasingly challenging. When facing uncertain situations such as navigating academic honesty or the appropriate use of AI tools, we need to look from different educational perspectives and act responsible. Our action and policy today will have a profound impact on the integrity of our education system. Thus, this program will become a space where our young, intelligent mind can actively discuss and investigate these unique academic challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion to today's event, I would like to acknowledge all those who have helped in making today's event successful. It is due to the hard work of everyone here that today's event become a reality. Congratulations to the organizing committee for all their effort and commitment in making sure that everything works perfectly in this program. It is because of your effort, and today was a success. I would like to thank our speakers as well for sharing with us your views regarding ethics in computing. Hopefully, all of us will get inspiration from your thoughts today. To all respected guests and participants, I hope you found today's session meaningful and that is encouraged you to reflect on the ethic responsibilities we hold as a competing professional. Let us carry this lesson forward in our studies and our future careers. Today, we can strive to build a digital world that is not only innovative but also ethical and responsible. With that, thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Madya Dr. Ismadi Badaruddin, for your insightful opening remarks and for officiating our webinar today. We are truly grateful to have you with us.
To provide further insights, I would now like to invite our program advisor, Professor Technologist Dr. Anita Wati binti Muhammad Lokman, to deliver her speech.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you to the MC for the warm introduction. The esteemed Associate Professor Dr. Ismadi Badaruddin, the Deputy Dean of Student Affairs of the Faculty, Madam Nordiana binti Misran, the Program Advisor, Dr. S. Raja Muhammad, the Associate Professor and the Head of Department Computer Science and Engineering, KIT, Coimbatore, India, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's academic session. As highlighted by our Deputy Dean just now, all students. Presently, artificial intelligence applications are increasingly accessible and integrated to our daily lives and our daily academic routines. And while these tools offer unprecedented capabilities in assisting with programming, ideation, and complex research, they simultaneously present substantial ethical dilemmas. It is imperative that we determine how to utilize these technologies responsibly within the higher education systems and to ensure that our academic integrity remains uncompromised. In the module, we will thoroughly examine the realities of AI within the university setting, and our primary objective is to equip our students not only with technical proficiency, but also with the ethical foundation necessary to navigate academic assessments, research endeavors, and collaborative projects in this new era. Now, allow me to briefly outline the structure of today's proceedings. Firstly, we will commence with our module with exploration of the practical scenarios and establish clear guidelines for ethical application in modern society. To our participating students especially, I strongly encourage you actively involve yourself throughout the session. Please utilize the provided platform to share your perspectives and raise critical questions. And this cultivating ethical decision making, it is an ongoing process of scholarly inquiry and careful reflection. So please participate. And so now we have a comprehensive program ahead of us, and I hope you find the module both intellectually stimulating and highly beneficial. And let us now officially commence with Digital Ethics 101. Thank you, and I shall now return the floor to the MC.
Thank you, Professor Technologist Dr. Anita Wati, for the inspiring speech and valuable words shared with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now begin the academic session for today's webinar. Our first session is titled Foundations of AI Ethics in Higher Education and will be presented by Amsha Daniel bin Muhammad Nizam. Without further delay, I would like to invite our first speaker to begin the session.
Thank you so much, Safa, for that wonderful introduction and for handling and for handing the floor over to me. I truly appreciate you setting the tone for today. Your energy really makes all the difference. Good morning, everyone. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with all of you today. My name is Amsha Daniel, and I will be guiding you through our very first session. Before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to appreciate our MC for keeping everything running so smoothly. Once again, thank you. And of course, a big thank you to each and every one of you for being here and giving us your time and attention. Now then, without further ado, let us get started. Welcome, everyone, to session 101, Ethics in AI for Higher Education. Over the next 25 to 20 minutes, we are going to lay the groundwork, understanding what AI is, what AI ethic means, and most importantly, what it means for you as a student or educator in university today. Let me start with a simple question. How many of you have used AI tool in the last week? Maybe to help write something, look something up, or just for fun? Right. While you ponder, that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. As you can see on this slide, AI refers to the ability of machines or computer systems to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. In today's university life, it is not just about computer science topic. It is a tool embedded into our daily life. For students, this might look like using AI to brainstorm ideas for an assignment, polish the language in an essay, or get help with coding. For lecturers, it might mean automating admin tasks, generating lectures online, or analyzing student data. And as this slide highlights, AI is important in higher education because it improves efficiency, support decision making, and sometimes surfaces insight that we as humans might not have thought of on our own. That is genuinely exciting. To give you a current example, tools like ChatGPT according to the QS Generative AI Pulse Survey 2023, 4 out of 5 students globally are already using generative AI during their studies. That is a whopping 80% of students. Here in Malaysia, institutions like UITM and UPM have begun rolling out AI literacy programs, precisely because this adoption is happening so fast. That is the landscape we are working in today. But with that power also comes a great responsibility. And that is exactly what brings us to our next slide. So, what do we actually mean by AI ethics? As you can see on the left panel of this slide, AI ethics is a set of values, principles, and techniques that guide moral conduct in how AI is developed, deployed, used, and sold. It is about ensuring AI technologies operate in ways that are fair, transparent, accountable, and beneficial to society. Then on the right panel, we narrow this down to higher education specifically. AI ethics in university is about ensuring that AI is used responsibly by students, by lecturer, and by institution in ways that support learning, teaching, and research without compromising academic integrity. These two ideas work hand to hand. The broad ethical principle gives us the foundation, and applying them in university context give us the practical direction. For example, of why this matter, in May 2023, a professor at Texas A&M University, Commerce in the United States, threatened to fail more than half his class after incorrectly using ChatGPT as an AI detection tool. The chatbot falsely claimed it had written the student essays. Graduating seniors had their diplomas temporarily withheld. This story was reported by Rolling Stone and Washington Post. It is a powerful reminder that AI ethics is not just about what students do, but it is also about how educators and institutions respond. They have the responsibility to adjust to the situation fairly. Now, moving on to areas where AI ethics applies in higher education. This slide shows us the 4 key areas where AI ethics comes into play at university. Let us walk through each one. Teaching and learning. The concern here is ensuring students to still develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And that access to AI remains fair for everyone, not just those who can afford premium version, but also the normal version. AI should be available for everyone, regardless of financial status. Moving on the top right, assessment and academic integrity. This is probably the most talked about right now. It covers preventing misuse of AI in assignment and exams, defining what counts as acceptable AI assistant, and ensuring assessment still genuinely measure what a student knows. A current concern making headlines globally is the use of AI in open book and take-home examination. In 2024, the International Baccalaureate Organization updated its academic integrity policy, specifically to address AI, stating that submitted AI-generated work as one's own is a form of academic misconduct. Many Malaysian universities are now drafting similar policies. On the bottom left, we have research. AI is increasingly used in academic research, but it comes with risks. Bias, misinformation, and privacy issues around research participants and sensitive data. A widely reported case in June 2023 of that said research. To the bottom right, student data and privacy. AI systems collect and process personal data. Student needs to know what is being gathered, how it is used, and how it is protected. This became a major live issue on 31st of March 2023 when Italy's data protection authority of the EU GDPR had no legal basis for collecting and storing personal data for AI training purposes. This story was covered by TechCrunch and Fortune. This story was also described as first such ban by a Western country. In the same breath, closer to home, Malaysia Personal Data Protection Act, also known as PDPA, is increasingly relevant as universities adopt AI-powered learning platform that tracks student behavior and performance. Together, these 4 areas show how far-reaching AI ethics is. It touches every corner of university life. Now, building an ethical AI culture in higher education. Here is something I want all of you to hold on to. Real-world example. For this scenario, a student asked ChatGPT for the biography of a Malaysian academic. The tool produced a detailed, confident response, complete with fabricated publication lists. However, none of the journal ever existed, and the student blindly submitted it. That is exactly what happens without awareness. Then on the top right, we have critical thinking. Do not take AI at face value. Always question its output. Verify information from reliable sources. Maintain own independent judgment. AI can be a powerful tool, but your brain is still the most important one in the room. Digital responsibility. Use AI honestly. Respect academic integrity. Everyone should think of AI as a learning aid that aims to brainstorm, organize, and explore, and not a shortcut that bypasses the learning process altogether. Furthermore, we have continuous learning. The ethical landscape around AI is not static, it evolves as the technology evolves. Both students and educators need to commit for staying informed and adapting over time. These four pillars together do not just create ethical AI users, they create better thinkers, researchers, and professionals. Students and present three real-world scenarios you might recognize and be familiar with. On the left card, we have writing and assignments. A student uses AI to generate full essay and submits it as their own work. So, what is the ethical issue here? It mis AI tools are known to generate fake references. So, the ethical approach here is to always verify AI suggested sources directly. The student remains responsible for the accuracy of the research. On the right card, we have group work. One group member uses AI to complete their entire portion without telling the group. This creates an unfair distribution of effort. The ethical approach is to be transparent, inform your groupmate, your lecturer about how AI was used and acknowledge it clearly, instead of doing it very secretly and discreetly. Now, we look at the same section, but this time from a lecturer perspective, with two important scenarios. Firstly, we have assessment design. A lecturer continues using the same essay-based assessment without considering that AI can now produce high-quality responses to standard questions. If AI can complete the assessment easily, it no longer accurately measures the student learning. So, the ethical approach, rethink assessment formats to include personal reflection, in-class elements, or demonstration that AI cannot replicate. Universities like the University of Melbourne and University Malaya are leading the way here, introducing oral defenses, process portfolios, and in-person demonstration as fairer ways to assess genuine student learning in the age of AI. On the right card, we have student feedback. A lecturer uses AI to use AI to provide your understanding of a topic. Treat AI as a study tool and not a shortcut with students. Redesign assessment to genuinely measure student understanding. Stay informed about how AI tools are evolving and how students are using them. Model responsible AI. Use yourself. On the don'ts. Leave student guessing about the boundaries of acceptable AI use. Judgment. Assume that current policies are sufficient as AI continues to develop. Dismiss AI ethics as only a student concern. Key takeaways and closing. We are coming to the end of our first session, and I want to leave you with the four key takeaways shown on the left side of this slide. Firstly, AI is already deeply embedded in our university life for both students and educators. That is simply not going to change. That is something we must live with. Secondly, AI ethics in higher education is about ensuring that AI is used in ways that are fair, honest, and respectful of academic integrity. Thirdly, building an ethical AI culture requires awareness, critical thinking, and digital responsibility from everyone, not just students, not just lecturers, but all of us, including institutions. Last but not least, Applying AI ethics is not about avoiding AI. It is about using it in a way that genuinely supports learning and growth. And as the closing statement on this slide says, AI will continue to be part of our university life. The question is whether to use it. The question is not whether to use it, but how to use it well. The foundation you build now in understanding AI ethics will shape the kind of student, educator, and professional you will become one day. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope this session has given you something valuable to carry forward. I will now hand back to our MC. Once again, I would like to say thank you, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Amshad Daniel, for the delightful sharing. Moving forward, we will continue with our second session titled Ethical Challenges of AI in Academic Learning and Assessment, presented by Muhammad Hatim bin Nazamid. We now invite our second speaker to deliver his presentation.
All right, so thank you, Hakimi, for the MCs. Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad Hatim bin Nazamid, and I'll be your second speaker for our second session today. So before I begin, I would like to thank our MC and our guests for sharing their precious time with us, and also to all participants. I hope that we can learn something today together. So in session one, we explore the foundation of AI ethics and the principle of responsible AI use in higher education. So as AI becomes more integrated in university life, new challenges are emerging in both learning and assessment. Because students can now access AI assistant within seconds, which can help them with assignments, study, and many more. But at the same time, educators are also exploring AI tools to improve university learning experience. While this development offers many benefits, they also create some important ethical challenges that university must address. So the main question is, how institution can benefit from AI while preserving the learning quality, fairness, and academic integrity? So first, we will look into the challenges in AI-assisted learning and what sort of challenges students are facing. So as we know, most students nowadays use AI tools to help them with their studies. Because why? AI is such a powerful tool. They can help them explain difficult concepts. Think about it. Before AI was smart, it would take a lot of effort to understand, for example, subject like physics or chemistry, because we would need to manually find books, ask a friend or our lecturers for us to understand and gain this knowledge. Other than that, AI can also assist in our assignment and brainstorming ideas and more. And because of this convenience factor that most students decide to use AI. But what would be the impact if it's not used correctly? Students may be too over-dependent on AI for answers and for their assignments. And as we know, as a human, being over-dependent on something comes with the potential consequences. The consequences that we may face is like reduced critical thinking, weaker problem-solving skills, and we become less independent when learning. Because when students use AI instead of thinking for themselves, it can quietly take away the very skill they're supposed to be building in university, which is critical thinking and problem solving. Not only that, students will also struggle with having creativity and originality in their ideas because they stop questioning things. And when AI hands you an answer, there's no space for the student to think and come up with their own solution. And some students who always use AI would not question, oh, does this really make sense? Can I apply this theory in real life? Which matters a lot in a world full of misinformation. And next, I want to point out another ethical issues, which is that not all students have the same access to the premium AI tools because better AI tools comes at a cost, and we know it is quite expensive nowadays. And this unequal access to the premium tools can create gaps in a few different aspects, such as learning opportunities, academic supports, and educational outcomes. For example, a student in computer science subject, especially, coding support alone from a premium tools versus a free ones is a completely different experience because premium ones usually write a code better and faster, while the free ones, still stuck at trying to understand the error message. However, education is not only about getting quick answers. It's about developing critical thinking, problem solving skill, and having a responsible decision making. And we have to work together to keep it that way. So, how about the ethical challenges in academic assessment? Because AI capable of generating almost anything today. It can write essays, reports, it can also code without any student's effort. And this brings us a few challenges. First being authenticity of work. So if a student submit an assignment, how do we actually know that it actually reflects their own knowledge and skill set? Because it becomes really difficult to tell whether it's the students or the AI who did most of the work. AI, thus making it hard for them to access the student real skill. And this assessment in university matters a lot because education institutions are built to provide knowledge. And through this assessment, that the institution can measure whether their system are relevant for the student. For example, imagine a programming assignments where students use AI to fully generate the codes. And the code do runs well without errors. But when lecturer asks them to explain what the code does, they could not. Because why? They didn't actually do the work. They don't understand what they did. You may think it's fine, but in the real world, the consequences is a lot more than we can think of. Now, interestingly, AI is not only used by students. Some educational institutions are also exploring AI-assisted tools for grading and evaluation. For example, Nanyang Technology University in Singapore allows AI to grade midterm and final exam in selected physics and mathematics modules. And on the surface, this sounds great, right? Because it can save time and effort. But it also brings its own ethical concerns, such as algorithmic bias, inconsistent grading outcomes, because it is generally known that AI is trained on human data, which naturally comes with mistake, preference, and bias. And we know that AI can make mistakes if there's no one to monitor and supports it. Next, we also will be facing issues such as lack of transparency in how the decisions are made and the potential unfair treatment. Because if AI is trained poorly, this could really affect the future of our students. Because students should be evaluated based on a fair and transparent criteria, because these assessments are not small. They can significantly influence a student's academic achievement and even their future opportunities. So here's something that I want you to remember. AI can support the assessment process, but the important academic decision should always remain under human supervision. So the next big challenge is involve privacy and data protection. Because many AI systems nowadays collects and process user information. This may include learning behavior, academic performance, user interaction, sometimes, unfortunately, personal information. While these data can improve learning experience for the AI, it also create a risk for us because the data collected from students who are using AI platform can be misused for purpose unrelated to learning. And some of us, students, may not clearly inform how their data is being used. And we're scared that the institution who owns the AI excessively collects our data, which expose us to privacy risk, data security breach, and unclear data use policies. So a quick message to us students is that students should also be cautious about the information they shared with AI tools. So we have covered the current challenges, but now let's discuss about the future. As AI technology continue to evolve, university will keep facing new problems. And here on the slide, you can see like 5 different emerging challenges that we have to face. First being detecting AI generated academic work. And honestly, this is getting harder and harder because AI is getting better at sounding like human. Second, redesigning assessment for AI era because the old way of testing students may no longer work. So assessment themselves need to change. Third, balancing innovation with academic integrity. Yes, we want to embrace new technology, but not at the cost of integrity and our learning processes. And fourth, we need to ensure fair access to AI technologies. As we discussed earlier, not every student can afford the same tools. And university will have to address this gap. And fifth, being managing the growing dependence on AI system, proactive in addressing these issues instead of only reacting after the problem appears. So after we discuss all these challenges, the natural question would be, what can we actually do about it? What's the solution? So to ensure a responsible AI use in both learning and assessment, highlights. The first one being having a clear AI policies. University need to clearly define what counts as acceptable AI use. For example, when is it okay to use AI? When is it not? They also need to establish a proper assessment guidelines, and most importantly, promote transparency so that both students and lecturer know exactly what the rules are. Let me give you a quick example. Imagine one lecturer allows students to use AI for brainstorm, but another lecturer consider the exact same thing as cheating. So the student might get confused because there's no clear standard. This is exactly why a clear university AI policy is so important. It removes guessing so that everyone can play by the same rules. The second pillar is having AI literacy. And this is a very important one. Both students and educators should understand how AI works properly. That means understanding its capability, its limitation, and the ethical risk involved. So here's an example. A student asks AI to find reference for an assignment, and the AI confidently produces a list of resources, but some of those resources do not even exist. And we call this AI hallucination. So a student with good AI literacy would fake sources without realizing it. So you see, you cannot use a tool ethically if you do not even understand how it works. And the third pillar, being the most important pillar, is human oversight, or we can call it human supervision. Okay, this is the one that I really want you to remember, because AI should assist decision making. It should never fully replace human judgment. For example, imagine a university uses AI system to automatically grade final exams. If a system makes a mistake or grade unfairly, and no human ever reviews it, a student ignoring these issues doesn't make them disappear. We just let them grow quietly in the background until they get too big to fix. First, being like the value of degree itself can start to erode or decrease. Think about it. If employer can't trust that the graduate's result actually reflects their own ability, then what does that degree even represent anymore? Because once they doubt the degree, the reputation of the entire institution, not just one student, takes the hit. Second, there's a real legal and reputational risk. And this one has a few layers to it. Because when students use AI without disclosing it, this can blur into plagiarism and academic integrity dispute. Because the institution can no longer clearly tell whether whose work is it. And on top of that, remember the privacy concern we discussed earlier? Mishandling student data isn't just about ethical issues. It can turn into an actual legal violation. And when both of these pile up, plagiarism dispute and data mishandling, the institution reputation takes a hit that can take years to rebuild. The last consequences can be the gap in education widens even further. We talked earlier about having unequal access. And without early intervention, this access gap doesn't stay the same. It will keep growing year after year until some students are left far behind simply because they could not afford any tools. So this is why we have to help each other to face these challenges, because otherwise we would only facing a much larger problem in the future. So now let us bring everything together and see the bigger pictures. First, AI is transforming both learning and assessment. Second, the ethical challenges goes beyond just technology. They affect educational quality, fairness, and trust. And these are human issues, not just ethical ones. And the third being, the path forward is through proactive action from both students and institutions. And with everything that we've discussed today, we can see that AI can now support every part of education, but it cannot replace the judgment, the responsibility, and the trust that only people can hold. And that's really the heart of everything we've talked about today. It's not a question whether AI is good or bad. It's a question whether we are using it in a way that still respect human development as a whole. So with that in mind, let's close with one final thoughts. The central question is no longer whether we should adopt AI in university. That part is already decided. AI is here and it is here to stay. The real question would be, how can we guide its implementations and so that it can support deep and genuine intellectual growth rather than weakening it? Because if you can balance innovation with ethics, then we can protect the one thing that matters most, which is the core value of human knowledge. So, my message to all of you, to all of us as students, educators, and future leaders is simple. We cannot fear AI. Let us, let us not blindly depend on it either. So, let us use it responsibly. And with that, I would like to thank you all for your time and attention. It's been a pleasure being your speaker for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mama Hatim, for the valuable insight. We will now move on into our Q&A session. We welcome any questions from the audience. Please drop your comments and questions in the chat below.
Mhm.
All right, we have one question here. How can students use AI effectively to support their learning without crossing the line into academic misconduct? I believe Amsha would like to share his opinion.
Thank you, Kimi, for asking me a question and handing the floor over to me. And also thank you for the question. So to answer that question, I think simply I would say AI should enhance learning and not simply replace it. AI, students can use AI to brainstorm ideas, just like what I've said and Hatim said, but the student themselves need to be able to understand difficult concepts and generate study guides on their own. Because I think students need to be remain responsible regardless of how AI is used. Because at the end of the day, the student is accountable for the accuracy, quality, and originality of the final submission, not the AI. So yeah. So to answer that question, AI should only be used as a tool and not to just replace learning altogether.
Thank you, Amsha, for the amazing answer. So now I got the second one, which is the what are the long-term consequences if become overly dependent on AI for learning and solve problem solving? So I feel like Hatim could give his view on this.
All right, that's a great question from our MCs. So, as we discussed earlier, being over dependent on something has potential consequences. But for students who always use AI without thinking for a solution themselves, may develop a weaker critical thinking and analytical skills. Because why? They don't have the disciplines to walk through the solution from start to the end. And this takes away the ability for them to think for themselves because they only rely on AI for an ideas, for brainstorm, and for getting their own answer. So, and their problem solving skills may decline if they rely on AI to provide answer immediately. Because as we know, AI provide instant answers. And but in reality, when we want answers before AI was created, we really have to work for ourselves. We have to find books, have find lecturer, and even ask our friend to eventually get what we want. And to answer that question, a student will be will develop a weaker critical thinking and the dependence on AI, and we can't function without it. And that's my answer for that question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hatim, for the amazing answer for that question. Now for the third one, um, what are the ethical risks of relying heavily on AI during academic research, and how can this risk can be managed? So, Amsha, would you like to give your opinion on this?
Sure, Kimi. Good question. Thank you, Mirza. So to answer this question, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with help using AI to help during academic research, but there are also a lot of risks. And to answer that question, resources provided by AI sometimes do not exist. So when a lot of these citation, and then when you check, there is a good chance that it might never be there. So I believe the researcher and students need to validate them first, verify them, and actually click the link and see if they exist or not. And also, the information provided may be inaccurate. There's a chance that it's inaccurate.
Much. So we have time for one last question, and I see an interesting one with from by the way, Megat. Okay, from Megat, which is if a student uses AI to complete an assignment but still understand the content, is it ethical to submit the work as their own? I would like Hatim to give his share on this.
So the question being, if a student use AI to complete an assignment, does it still, but understand the content, is it still ethical to submit their work? I think we should know that having other people do the work for us is not ethical, because AI should be a tools for brainstorming, for ideas, and to build structures. And sure, we can ask them to give examples, but we should not rely it to complete an assignment, even though we understand it, because we have to show our knowledge, our skill sets. Because if, let's say, AI complete the assignment, it's the AI skill sets who did the work. Even though you understand it, it is not your skill. You didn't develop it yourself. So you have to be accountable for the assignments and the work you put out there. And that's the answer for your question. Thank you very much. It's a very good question.
Thank you so much to our speakers, Amshad Daniel and Muhammad Hatim, for clarifying those questions. We hope that answers all the inquiries from the audience. We will now proceed to the forum session conducted by lecturers and students from Kalingar Karunanidhi Institute of Technology, KIT. This session will be moderated by Iqmal Hanif bin Soimin and Tengku Maria Marisa binti Tengku Muhammad. With that, I would like to hand over the screen to our moderators to lead the discussion. Please proceed.
Thank you, MC, for the nice introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone joining us today. Welcome to the forum session of our international webinar. I am Iqmal Hanif, and alongside my co-moderator,
My name is Kumar. Marisa, KIT, based in Tamil Nadu, India. We are honored to have representatives from KIT with us today to share their scholarly insight and expertise.
today's talk touches on something very relevant to all of us in this digital age: artificial intelligence and ethics, navigating the future of responsible AI. This is a conversation that matters to all of us as students, as educators, and as people living in a world shaped by technology.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce the presenters from KIT who will be leading today's forum. Our first speaker is Dr. S. Raza Mohammed. Dr. Raza Mohammed serves as Associate Professor and also Head of Department for Computer Science and Engineering at KIT. With his wealth of experience in academic and research, we are most privileged to have him guide today's discussion. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Raza Mohammed. Joining him today are two outstanding third-year students from KIT. We have Ms. Vaishnavi R. from the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science and Mr. Ashwin N. from the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Their participation today is a testament to the caliber of students being nurtured at KIT. A very warm welcome to both of you.
With that, let us welcome Dr. Raja Mohammed, Vaishnavi, and Ashwin to the floor. Their presentation today is titled Artificial Intelligence and Ethics, Navigating the Future of Responsible AI, starting with the fundamentals of AI and how it is already transforming industries like healthcare, before diving into the ethical challenges around bias, privacy, deepfakes, and the future of work.
In addressing the international gathering of students, faculty members, researchers, academic leaders from both KIT and also UIT, Mara, Malaysia. And I also feel proud, I'm representing the southern part of Tamil Nadu, a place known as Coimbatore. Also, rather referred as Manchester of South India. This place is also known as famous scientist, cult scientist, G.D. Naidu. And this is known as the industry hub of southern India. and it would help you if you visit our place maybe in the future. And we from KIT also like to we extend our sincere appreciation to the organizers for their meticulous planning and inch perfect or the time perfect, minute perfect rather, I would say, follow up, rehearsal, and everything was what to say, out of out of thoughts. Like it was too good, perfect rather, like say on top of international standard, I would say that. So now at this moment, the entire world is talking about AI, were addressed by the previous speakers, and it's rapidly growing rather at a very fast pace. And as we know that, can we use this AI? Of course, we need to use it. We need to be adaptive, and I hope now if I take 5 to 10 minutes of yours, you won't be I'm gonna say bothered about it. Like no, first question is just, can we use AI? Yes, of course. This lies in the bottom of my heart that no, the question is not about using AI, how we are going to use it. Are we going to use it in an ethical manner? So today, everybody, like starting from not only the students, educators, researchers, everyone is trying to use AI, but we need to harness the benefits or the power of AI rather, and how it is going to revolutionize the higher education. There are a lot of things like say when I was doing my engineering, say bachelor's or master's or my PhD, there was no such thing called generative AI, and where we need to go to the library or we need to go to the faculty or we need to go to a fellow researcher, a kind of a research forum where we express our ideas and we get. But now it is not the case. A student in Coimbatore or in Kuala Lumpur can get instant explanations from about complex concepts, and also can generate problem solutions for problems which are beyond imagination, and they can get the academic content translated in just what is a split second. And in other side, the AI has come with remarkable opportunities, and that need to be capitalized. So first thing is the personalized learning experience, intelligent tutoring, and again mentoring, even sometimes say accessibility for diverse learners. I mean, automated assessment and feedback testing, as our students are using TCSI on different kind of what to say assessment platforms, algo tutor kind of certain things which I have come across, or tools like Speak It or Grammarly. Everyone is everybody is using it, and again at the same time, AI is enhancing the productivity, research productivity or the learning capabilities of the students, and of course global opportunities, global collaboration, knowledge sharing, what is happening now. And in terms of like developing economies like India and Malaysia, it's going to play what is a transformative role, say in democratizing the education and reducing the barriers towards learning, I hope. And also, every technological revolution has its own responsibility. In that bracket, AI also is no stranger. And the way, the challenge for us is how we are going to integrate it. That's the only thing. And again, in the world of generative AI, like the current issue or the pressing concern is about the integrity. As one of the student has asked, now I'm using a generative AI content to create my own assignment, and is it legally or ethically correct? So it was a question, says it is about generative AI. And now, even if you are able to answer the questions, but still the process of so now say providing solution for a problem was not done by the person or the student, rather by the system. And the system merely as a faculty or say teacher, from the core of my thought process is still somewhere in my mind, it's not accept no my mind is not accepting extensive use of AI. Rather, in my perspective, AI what to say defies certain things, but at the same time it reduces our thought process. And the moment, like the today's generation, Gen Z, rather we call it them as Gen Z or Gen Z, like they inclined more towards use of AI tools, but it should be used as a supportive rather than just blindly trust and use it. And very say in 2014 there was a movie called Interstellar. I am a big fan of that movie. It was wonderful, people talking about black hole, and the same Gen AI was able to generate the content of that movie, coming up with the wonderful mathematical solutions, how the black hole would be appearing, what is time lapse, what is dimension, like that, right? So in that case now, say we should also discuss the cons of this. In my perspective, it somewhat lacks in terms of encouraging critical thinking, intellectual curiosity, and then creativity, ethical reasoning, problem solving, and many such things. And I can just go on and on and on. And also there should be a fairness and no bias and also we should use inclusive AI concepts. Right now we are from two different parts of the world, and there the ethical AI has to have cultural diversity, linguistic diversity, religious diversity, social inclusion. And time back, even in India, we have 30 odd states where each state has its own language. Southern part uses Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam. Similarly, I hope Bahayan language happening in Malaysia also. Right now, say because of the AI tools, we are able to communicate with others in a better way, even if we are not knowing or knowing whatever it is. And finally, there has to be a fairness, transparency, and also accountability and inclusivity. And also, my previous speaker said about privacy, data governance, and digital trust. And we are facing the same issues in India in terms of maintaining privacy for digital forum like Aadhaar or driving license and all, say citizenship card, etc. And it should also be AI has to be a human-centered one. That means keeping humans at the core. We are the one who created it, and strongly believe that AI is never going to rule us. Rather, we would be using the AI to help our human race. And as the AI does not possess the following things, human wisdom is not there. It's only a search engine, in my perspective. Moral judgment is not there. Empathy is not there. Compassion is not there. Social responsibility is not there. And these things are still under question, and that need to be answered by every one of us. And so as a responsible citizen, we need to promote AI literacy, encourage ethical innovation and interdisciplinary research, and etc. And also finally, I would like to thank once again the people from Malaysia and also from our own KIT management. Very warm, heartfelt thanks and greetings to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Raja Mohammed, for the informative introduction and also your valuable insight. So with that, I would like to invite our next speakers, Ms. Vaishnavi and also Mr. Ashwin, to continue the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, sir, for the introduction. And thank you for the team who organizes this. And this is a great opportunity to be here. I'm Vaishnavi, and today I will be discussing about AI technologies, their impact on society, and some important ethical considerations. But rather than starting with technical definitions, I would like you to imagine a student named Ravi. Ravi is just like many of us. He uses a smartphone, studies online, shops on the internet, and dreams of building a successful career. As we follow Ravi through his day, we will see how artificial intelligence is already influencing our lives in ways we often don't notice. Let's begin with Ravi's morning. As soon as Ravi wakes up, he asks his phone, "What's the weather today?" Within a second, the phone understands his voice and provides an answer. Now, have you ever wondered how a machine can understand what we say? The answer lies in artificial intelligence technologies. Machine learning helps systems to learn from data and improve over time. Deep learning helps to recognize patterns such as images, speech, and faces. Natural language processing enables machines to understand and respond to human language. Computer vision allows computers to interpret visual information. Together, these technologies power virtual assistants, chatbots, recommendation systems, and facial recognition. So, even before Ravi leaves his house, AI is already helping him. But AI doesn't stop there. It continues to assist Ravi throughout the rest of his day. As Ravi travels to college, he opens Google Maps to avoid traffic. Later, while watching YouTube, he notices videos being recommended based on his interest. When shopping on the online, products which appear that match his recent searches. These may seem like ordinary experiences, but behind each of them, AI is quietly working in the background. Today, AI is influencing how we learn, communicate, travel, shop, and work. It helps organizations to make faster decisions, improve efficiency, and provide personalized experiences. Because of its growing impact, AI is often described as one of the most transformative technologies of our time. As Ravi experiences these conveniences, he begins to realize that AI is helping people in much more important ways as well. One of the best examples can be seen in healthcare. One day, Ravi's father develops a health issue and visits a hospital. The doctors use AI-powered systems to analyze medical scans and identify possible problems more quickly. AI can help to detect diseases earlier, support accurate diagnosis, and assist doctors in making treatment decisions. Rather than replacing healthcare professionals, AI acts as a powerful assistant that helps them to provide a better care. As a result, healthcare becomes more efficient and patient outcomes also improve. After seeing how and improve productivity, his sister studies through an online learning platform that adapts lessons based on her learning progress. At the bank, AI helps to detect suspicious transactions and prevent fraud. In transportation, AI supports route planning and traffic management. These examples shows that AI is helping people from different professionals and backgrounds. By this point, Ravi can clearly see the benefits of AI, but he also begins to wonder about something important. If AI is making decisions that affect people's lives, how do we make sure those decisions are fair and trustworthy? Let's imagine that Ravi applies for a scholarship or internship, and AI system is involved in evaluating applications. Naturally, Ravi would want to know that the process is fair and transparent. This is where ethics becomes important. As AI system becomes involved in important decisions, they must be transparent, accountable, and trustworthy. Ethical AI helps to ensure that technology benefits society while minimizing the risk. It protects fairness, human rights, and public trust. Without ethical guidelines, AI could potentially be misused or produce unfair outcomes. To understand this challenge better, let's look at one of the most common ethical concerns in AI. A few years later, Ravi graduates and applies for his dream job. He has the required skills and qualification. However, an AI system rejects its application because it was trained using biased historical data. This is known as algorithmic bias. When AI learns from biased data, it can unintentionally make unfair decisions. Such problems can affect recruitment, healthcare, banking, and many other sectors. To reduce bias, organizations must use diverse data sets and regularly evaluate their AI systems. Fairness is essential because AI should create opportunities for everyone, not just for a few groups. So, by reducing bias, we can build AI systems that are more trustworthy and beneficial for society. Through Ravi's journey, we have seen how AI technologies influence our daily lives, transform industries, improve healthcare, and raise important ethical questions. We have also seen why fairness is important for society. However, the discussion does not end here. Important concerns still.
I'm Ashwin, and I will be continuing today's presentation by exploring some of the most important challenges, opportunities, and responsibilities that accompany the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence. Let us now move forward and examine the ethical, social, and global implications of AI in our rapidly evolving digital world. Let's begin with the question. How much of your personal information do you think you generate in a single day? Every search, online purchase, social media post, and even the way we use our smartphones creates data. In fact, the world now generates millions of terabytes of data every day. But with this opportunity comes with the responsibility, as mentioned earlier. How do we protect personal privacy while still enabling innovation? Around the world, regulations such as Europe's GDPR are helping establish stronger protections for users. As AI becomes more powerful, ensuring trust, transparency, and responsible data usage will be one of the most important challenges of our digital future. Now, let's talk about something many of us are already informed online, the misinformation. Artificial intelligence can now generate images, videos, and even voices that appear super real. These creations, known as deepfakes, have become so convincing that millions of people have believed fabricated content before it was even exposed. Imagine the impact it have during elections, natural disasters, or public emergencies where accurate information is essential. The challenge is not just accessing information, it's determining whether the information is trustworthy. In an AI driven world, critical thinking and fact checking are just as important as technological innovation. Whenever AI is discussed, one question always comes up: will AI take away our jobs? History gives us an interesting answer. Every major technological revolution, from electricity to computers, changed the way people work, but it also created entirely new opportunities. AI is expected to automate repetitive and routine tasks, allowing humans to focus more on creativity, problem solving, and decision making. The real competitive advantage in the future won't simply be technical knowledge, it will be the adaptability and continuous learning, communication skills, and the ability to work alongside intelligent systems. The future belongs not to those who resist change, but to those who adapt and evolve with it. When we think about AI's future, it's important to remember that AI is not a replacement for human intelligence. It's an amplifier of it. Today, artificial intelligence is helping doctors detect diseases earlier, assisting scientists in climatic research, accelerating drug discovery, and improving access to education around the world. But the technology itself is neutral. The outcomes we achieve will depend on the values, ethics, and decisions that guide its development. The future of AI is not just about what machines can do, but it's about the humanity chooses to do with them. Talking about global governance and AI regulation, AI does not recognize national borders. A system developed in one country can influence millions of people across the globe. That is why international cooperation is becoming increasingly important. Organizations such as United Nations, UNESCO, and governments worldwide are working to establish principles that promote fairness, transparency, accountability, and human oversight. The goal is simple: encourage innovation while ensuring safety and protecting fundamental human rights. Because AI is a global technology, building a responsible AI ecosystem requires collaboration between governments, researchers, industries, citizens, and us. So let's talk about the key takeaways and Amazon's AI requirement tool. If there is one message I would like everyone to take away from today's discussion is this: artificial intelligence is not a future technology, it's a present reality. The decisions we make today regarding education, ethics, privacy, governance, and accessibility will shape how AI impacts future generations. Technology alone does not determine the future, people do. Top MNCs like Amazon uses their recruitment tools integrated with AI, and that's the best example how adaptation happens. But Amazon had to scrap its experimental AI hiring tool after gender bias. Responsible AI is not just a technical challenge for engineers, it's a shared responsibility for society as a whole. So, the responsible AI. As I conclude, I would like to leave you with one final thought. Artificial intelligence may become one of the most influential innovations in human history. It has the power to transform healthcare, education, industry, sustainability, and countless aspects of our daily lives. Yet the true measure of AI success will not how intelligence machine become, but how effectively they improve human lives. Our responsibility is to ensure that AI remains ethical, inclusive, transparent, and human-centered. Because the future of AI is not something that simply happens to us; it is something we are all helping to create. Thank you for all your time, attention, and active participation. It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you today, and thanks for this opportunity.
My Raza Muhammad, Vaishnavi, and also Ashwin. That was truly an astonishing, enriching, and also thought-provoking presentation. Next, we will now open the floor for a brief Q&A segment. If any of our participants have questions for our KIT speakers, we warmly invite you to either type your question in this or raise a virtual hand and we will unmute you. We have approximately 6 minutes for this segment, so let us make the most of this session.
While we wait for question from the floor, allow me to start with one from our end. The first question is for Dr. Raja Muhammad. In the presentation, it touches about an algorithmic bias, particularly about the Amazon recruitment case. In your opinion, what is the single most important step that organizations should take to prevent such biases from being embedded in AI system from the very beginning?
Thank you. First, there are certain things like key strategies which we need to refer to. Question is first of all, let me say question is a very good one, as fairness, bias in AI and inclusivity need to be addressed. Then, and the strategies to mitigate the AI bias, it's about representing representative data across the globe, inclusive development teams, algorithmic auditing, and also continuous human oversight. I hope these things would be the correct one to help in addressing bias issues.
A question has come in from one of our YouTuber viewers. The question is that, do you think it's possible for AI to be misused in the medical technology? May we know what is your perspective on this question?
Obviously, the current world is about revolving around AI, and not only in medical world, it's literally helping us across multiple applications. And here in our India, like as we are an agricultural country, we are having a lot of things happening in agriculture and also especially in medical technology, like diagnosation, especially in terms of people having what to say people having difficulty in terms of identifying critical diseases like tumors, cancer patients, and all. They are using this technology in a wide spread manner. And here we have in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, we have a center called NIMHANS located in Bangalore, which is purely studying the tumor cells which are happening to have effects in human brain. And there they are using the use of extensive AI in identifying issues of patients from different parts of the southern India.
Thank you, Doctor. We also have a next question from our YouTube audience. That is, how can people best benefit from agriculture technology? So could you share your views on this question?
And that's another interesting question then. Is in the nearby place, we have, Coimbatore itself is having the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University there, located in here, and they have indigenous research center towards sugarcane, like how to improve the productivity of sugarcane cultivation. And there they are using AI, and especially the AI is used in terms of identifying what kind of diseases the plantations are going to get affected. And we have a camera fixed across various places, and even some of our research scholars are working on such problems, and we are trying to identify the issues. And we started with the leaves of the plantations, and then we were not able to, and then we have fixed the cameras to continuously monitor it and take pictures or videos or cues from selected periods, and then we were able to identify. And if that's the case, then spray whatever medicine is prepared, and that is how we are trying to identify that issue. And it's an ongoing thing. And another thing, interesting thing is like, and I would connect with a nearby place here. We have IIT Palakkad located nearby, and two of our faculty members have visited that place. And they use these drones powered by AI to identify the cultivation area and sowing and all. Every stuff is completely based on AI. So a lot of things are happening, interesting things are happening. Hope I have addressed questions in the right manner or with the right spirit.
Thank you, Doctor, for the amazing answer. So we have one last question from our viewers, which is, should the government enforce a stricter law for deepfakes cases since the crime is increasing rapidly?
Obviously, there is no question about this one. And we are in a digital world, and we have Chat GPT is there, Google Gemini is there, Grok is there. I can just keep on coming up with n number of tools. And one such issue is deep fake, and that has created a revolutionizing effect. But at the same time, now that's what now we are addressing now: integrity of the person, how they are using it. So the international, rather not just a country's government, the international forum has to join hands together, educational institutions, where we need to teach the students, and then through we can teach the parents also about use of AI in a ethical way. There need to be stronger rules should be in place everywhere. And of course, it's need of the hour too.
Thank you, Doctor, for your answers. Thank you to everyone who joined in on the Q&A today. We really appreciate the engagement. On behalf of the entire organizing team, I would like to express our sincerest gratitude to Dr. S. Raja Muhammad, Ms. Vaishnavi R, and Mr. Ashwin for such a wonderful presentation today. Your thoughts on responsible AI and the ethics behind this technology have truly given us a lot to think about. The dedication KIT put into nurturing students who are not just technically strong, but also ethically grounded, it really shows, and we are honored to have had this collaboration.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you, one and all. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Doctor. Without a doubt, Dr. Raza Muhammad's slides so powerful reminded us that AI is actually powerful, but how we use it actually determines our future. So let us carry that message forward as a student, as a researcher, and also as a responsible members of the global community. Thus, this concludes the forum session of our webinar. Thank you once again to KIT, and thank you to all of our participants for your time and also your curiosity. Assalamualaikum, and we will now hand this session back to our MC for the continuation of today's program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for our moderators, Iqmal Hanif and Tengku Maria Mirza, as well as our international panel from KIT for such an engaging and wonderful forum discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached to the conclusion of Module 1 for today's international webinar. We would like to express our deepest gratitude and highest appreciation to our esteemed speakers, Amshad Daniel bin Muhammad Nizam and Muhammad Hatim bin Nazamid, as well as our brilliant forum moderators, Iqmal Hanif and Tengku Maria Marisa, and also our counterpart panels members from the Kalegna Karunanidhi Institute of Technology, KIT. Your profound insight into the fundamentals of AI ethics, bias, and fairness have truly enlightened us all and set a spectacular foundation for today's discourse.
Before we temporarily conclude this session, we would like to invite all participants to turn on their cameras once again for a quick Model 1 group photo session. Everyone can open their cameras. Dah ramai belum? Dah ramai macam. All right. Let's take this screenshot. Smile, everyone. 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Dear participants, Your feedback is highly valuable in helping us assess the effectiveness and impact of this program. We kindly request your cooperation to fill out the feedback form for international webinar, Digital Ethics 101 Ethics in AI for Higher Education. The QR code is currently displayed on the screen. Please take a few minutes to scan it and share your thoughts. Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
Sebab kalau kita letak sini, kita boleh okay, okay. Brilliant, brilliant.
We will now take a short break for lunch and technical preparation for Model 2, which will be commenced promptly at 1:30 p.m. Model 2 will feature an equally exciting lineup discussing on the new frontier of digital policing and ethical pillars and human shield, which will be hosted by your next master ceremony.
Please stay tuned in the Microsoft team and YouTube streams. As for me, Safa Atifah,
And me, Hakiminuddin.
it has been an absolute honor serving as your MC for Module 1. We apologize for any shortcomings on our part, and I thank you all for your wonderful cooperation. We shall end with Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good break, and we will see you back at 1 p.m. Thank you all.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing mic, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mic testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mic test.
Cubaan suara, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Test mic 1, 2, 3. Hello. Dengar? Hello. Hello. Ujian suara 1, 2, 3. My name is Sulam. So I'll be presenting. Hello, test mic. Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you managed to grab a quick coffee, a stretch, and refresh your minds during the break. Yes, and while we wait for everyone to settle back into the session, I want to share a fascinating quote that I stumbled upon by cybersecurity expert James Scott. He once said that supercomputers and AI will complement human intelligence, not replace it. It is a shield and not a sword. A shield, not a sword. How fitting. It really sets a perfect tone for what we are about to dive into. As our upcoming session will explore exactly how these digital boundaries are being tested in our world today. Exactly. So while we wait for everyone else to join us back for this session, let's get to know our crowd a little better. So we are so thrilled to have a global audience with us today. If you are joining us from Malaysia, do drop us a thumbs up, and if you are streaming all the way from India, please drop us some love. Thank you so much everyone for the warm response. It really is. It looks like both of our Malaysia and India participants are more than ready for this session. Okay, so since everyone is already gathered here, let us start our second session for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very warm welcome to everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, respected lecturers, fellow students, and all the participants joining us from Malaysia and India for this international webinar hosted here in Malaysia. For those who are joining us for the second session, my name is Aina Zulaika, and I will be your MC for this session today. And my name is Nurin Sarfina. It is a pleasure to be here alongside Aina as your co-MC for this session. Earlier in the first session, we explored the foundations of AI ethics, fairness, and accountability. For this next segment, organized by the CDCS 251 cohort, we will be moving into discussions of the new frontier of digital policing and ethical pillars and human shield. Before we begin, just a gentle reminder to all the participants to kindly keep your microphone mute throughout the presentation to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted session for everyone. To all participants, we will now begin our first presentation for this session, which is on the new frontier of digital policing. To guide us through this discussion, it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Muhammad Khairul Amri bin Khairul Naim, who will be sharing his insights on this topic. In this session, he will be presenting two engaging segments, the AI detective and cases and conflicts. Participants can also look forward to the interactive quizzes following each segment. Without further ado, let us welcome our first speaker, Khairul Amri.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Aina, and thank you, Nurin, our MC. I'll be taking the baton from here and start with our module today. Before that, let me welcome each of you, especially our friends in diplomatic from India, specifically from the KIT. For everyone else, wherever you may be, please be seated and have a listen. Okay, take a look at the slide, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think for a moment about how fast everything around us has moved. From the agrarian to the traditional to urbanization and then into a secular digital world that runs faster than any of us ever anticipated. Every transition came with a sacrifice, a sentiment. Even we were, in many ways, forced to leave the past behind. not always by choice, but just by sheer speed of the progress. And at last, we arrive here. We arrive here. Take a look at the screen, at the mobile phone you're holding on. We arrive here, a world of miracle. But it is also here in this world of miracle where we realize something uncomfortable. The modern man cannot the modern man cannot control the modern world. The modern world he himself created. The tools keep on growing, the systems expanded, and the question that kept coming back across every era, every transition, was never really about the technology itself. It was always about how we manage it. And that is where ethics enters. Because ethics is not one thing. There is universal ethics. There are ethics shaped by culture, be it the Indian culture or the Malaysian culture, by tradition, and even by spiritual guidance. All of them, in their own way, answering the same question: what is right? And how do we hold ourselves to it? In a secular, digital world moving this fast, the question of ethics is no longer optional. And this is what this session is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go anywhere, please show me some reaction to know that everyone is paying attention to what I'm about to present. So, I want everyone to imagine something. You are at home, maybe late at night, browsing, be it on your phone or on your laptop. You get a message from someone online. They are friendly, they seem to know what they want. And over the next few days, they keep on messaging you over and over again, persistent, and they sweetening the deal. Eventually, out of curiosity, maybe out of pressure, you agree to something. You agree to something you probably should not have. But the twist is that person that was messaging you over and over again was not a human. It was an AI chatbot programmed by law enforcement. Programmed by law enforcement to keep everything you said logged, and everything you agreed to became evidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, is this justice or are we creating a trap? That is the question this entire session is built around. Moving on. Today, we are looking at justice or entrapment. The ethics of AI chatbots in law enforcement, where the digital shield becomes a digital sword. There are three sections that I will present. Section 1 will cover how law enforcement technology has evolved. Section 2 examines the core conflict between justice and entrapment. And Section 3 brings us into two real case studies that put all of this theory to the test. Let us begin. I want everyone to think about how cybersecurity used to work. Sorry, and can you move to the next slide? Like, oh, it's okay. Okay, back then, it was what we call a digital shield, a passive set of safety tools, such as firewalls, antivirus software, passwords built to defend computers, networks, and personal information. The goal was to always maintain confidentiality, integrity, and availability so we can keep the bad guys out. So this is how we see cybersecurity used to work. But today, we have crossed into something completely different. What is the difference? Law enforcement are no longer just waiting to be attacked. They are going on the offensive. They are running AI chatbots undercover. infiltrating the web communities, tracking those who steal personal data, and organizational records. Sorry. We have moved from the shield to the sword. And this shift raises a question the law has not fully answered yet. Are we protecting the law, or are we accidentally breaking it? Ladies and gentlemen, before we go deeper, let us quickly ground ourselves in what this module is asking us to achieve. By the end of today, we want to understand the role of AI chatbots in law enforcement specifically, and we want to differentiate between justice and entrapment and analyze the ethical challenges involved, assess global legal implications, and apply safe digital habits in our own lives. And I want everyone to look at the slide, and I want to flag the question at the bottom of the slide, because this is the one that ties everything together. It says here, can AI differentiate justice from entrapment? Justice from entrapment. That is what we are here to find out. So section 1, the evolution of the digital frontier. As technology keep on evolving, the tools that protect our digital world must also evolve with it, from passive defense to active undercover AI agents. So let's see, what exactly is an AI law enforcement chatbot? I'll repeat, AI law enforcement chatbot. Think of it as a digital undercover agent that never sleeps. By 2026, authorities deploy these AI programs directly into the hidden dark web. They interact with users, identify potential cybercrimes before they happen, and act as a worldwide barrier against the theft of personal information, financial records, and networks. So these AI programs have been directly inserted into the dark web. One bot can simultaneously monitor thousands of corners of the internet at the same time. We saw this proven at scale with Operation Alice, which we will look at closely very soon. But a human undercover agent needs sleep. They can only talk to a person at a time. They are limited by language and geography. An AI chatbot has none of those limitations. And that difference, as you will see, is exactly what makes this so ethically complex. Moving on to the next section, the core conflict. Are we protecting or are we tricking? Definitely a defining debate of 2026, the line between catching a crime or creating one. Is everyone still giving attention? Can I get some reactions from the chats? Okay, good. So, the central question is this: where is the line between justice and entrapment? Let me define both clearly. On the left side of this slide, justice, which is monitoring, detecting, and stopping. Just like how the police observe someone who is already trying to break into a house, they wait and they catch them. The person wanted to commit the crime, and the police simply documented it. So they caught the person and they documented it. This is what we know and what we are familiar of, the justice we are used to. But on the right side, what we are just discussing right now is entrapment, persuading, pressuring, producing the crime itself. A person is walking down the street, just minding their own business. But an undercover bot stops them, stop, and spend an hour convincing them that stealing is a great idea. Totally safe, totally worth it, until they finally agree. So imagine someone comes to you and asks you to, it's okay, let's steal, nothing happens. Hence, it gives the same outcome but very different situation. It's two streets, the same ending, but only one is actually justice. And the question we need to carry forward is, which one does AI enforcement look more like? So take a look at the slide. This is where it gets important, because AI is not the same as a human undercover agent, not even close. In the context of judging or giving judgment, a human uses experience and emotion to read a situation, but AI follows program rules and data patterns. A humans need sleep and can only speak to one person at a time, but AI holds thousands of conversations with another human simultaneously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A human may carry personal prejudice, and AI is theoretically neutral, but they actually inherits whatever bias exists in the data it was trained on. And in terms of persistency, a human will eventually give up if someone keeps saying no. But AI can be programmed to be completely unrelenting, messaging the same person for weeks over and over again. So, a human will take time to build a fake friendship, but AI can always analyze a target's entire social media history and perfectly mimic their personality. Hence, they can always manipulate human better and faster. And a human is limited by location physically and language, but AI operates in more than 50 languages and can target people in multiple countries simultaneously. It is the same job the human do and the AI do the same thing, but the operator is radically different. And when we combine persistence, manipulation speed, and cross-border reach, we get a tool that can create criminals, not just catch them. Moving on to the next section, section 3, from theory to the field. We have been talking about definitions and comparisons, but definitions only take us so far. Hence, I want to show to everyone else the real test of this idea and what happens when it meets reality. We are going to look at two case studies. One is real that have happened, and one is fictional but very realistic that it could just happen tomorrow. And together, they are going to show us something important. The technology is already here. The ethics are still catching up. Like I mentioned before, the modern man could not always control the modern world he created. So let's move into the first case study, Operation Alice on March 2026, led by German authorities. Please take a look at the slide. We have data. Look at the numbers on the left. 3,073, 300,000 illegal websites closed, and 23 countries collaborating. More than, 440 customers identified globally. On the surface, it's a massive success. But let me walk you through what actually happened. The takedown, German authorities, supported by 23 countries, shut down over 373,000 illegal websites in a coordinated sweep. But the trap is, those websites were not real markets. They were sting operations offering goods that never even existed. So the entire marketplace was constructed by law enforcement. But the results are, they caught 440 real customers, real human, and those customers are identified globally for investigation. And then the global conflict. Many of those 440 targets lived under different legal regimes, different countries, different laws, different definitions of what counts as a crime. So this raises a question. Does Germany or any participating country have the right to run a sting operation that catches a citizen of another country under laws that may not even apply to that person at home? So we see the same pattern. The digital world does not stop at the border. but the law still does. So we move on from case study 1 and to the second case study. Let me get the slide first. Okay, it takes a bit. It's okay. The Jeremy case. This one is fictional, but built on a very real technology that exists right now. The mission is Jeremy was programmed to blend into high-risk digital environments. Dark web forums where stolen personal information was being traded. Names, bank details, home addresses. Jeremy's mission is to find the people selling this data. But the conflict is, Jeremy logged onto a user in a neighboring country. When the user hesitated, when they showed reluctance, the AI Jeremy's algorithm was set to close the deal. It quietly began raising the financial incentive again and again and again. So the outcome is the user, the real human, eventually agreed. They were tracked and they were arrested. And then the defense met this argument. Without the AI Jeremy's persistence, especially on financial pressure, would there be no crime have been committed? If Jeremy was never there, if those messages were never sent, would the crime have ever happened? We do not know. And that is exactly the problem. The question is not did the user do something wrong, but the real question is, would they have done it without the AI programmed Jeremy? We got Operation Alice and Jeremy. It's two very different cases, but both of them point to the same uncomfortable truth. The technology is already here, the ethics are still catching up. The decisions being made right now about how AI can be used, how far it can reach, who it can target, what counts as evidence. These decisions are being made without a clear, agreed framework. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the next sections, we will look at the ethical pillars that should be guiding these decisions, this Alice and this Jeremy. We have algorithmic due process, digital sovereignty, and the human in the loop principle. But before you can argue about what the rules should be, you need to see clearly what happens when there are no rules. That is what section 3 was for. Soon you will hear from the next speaker, Sarah Edina, on section 4, ethical pillars. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Khair Amri, for the insightful presentation. I hope that everyone is get the result from the Khair Amri talks. So the discussion truly highlight how the how the artificial intelligence is transforming modern investigation and reshaping the future of the digital policing. It was both fascinating and deeply relevant to the challenges we face today. We sincerely appreciate your time and valuable sharing.
Yes, absolutely. And now, to test your understanding of what Kara just shared with us, it is time for our first interactive quiz session. We would like to invite all participants from both Malaysia and India to scan the QR code displayed on the screen or click on the link that has been provided by our technical team in the chat box.
We encourage you to be fast as only the first 100 participants can join the quiz. So be fast, everyone. Scan the QR code display on the screen or click the link that is provided in the chat box right now. And let's see who claims the ultimate bragging rights at the top of our leaderboard. We will give you some time to get ready before we start the quiz. Okay, I think everyone is get ready and okay, we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's begin.
Okay, for the question number 1, what does active infiltration refers to? So please lock in your choices on your screens right now. Choose your answers wisely. Alright guys, we got only 5 seconds left to answer the question. And the correct answer is joining online communities secretly for investigation. So it's a great start to everyone who got that right. Okay, we're moving on to the next question. Question number 2. Which technology is highlighted in the slide for digital investigation? I think this one should be a quick one if you are paying close attention to the slide before. What do you think? Maybe a blockchain, cloud gaming, AI chatbot agents, or virtual reality? Yes, the answer is the AI chatbot agents. Congrats everyone who got that right. Okay, we're moving on to the next question. Question number 3. Which of the following is an advantage of AI chatbot agents? Make sure to submit your answer before the clocks run out. Clock is ticking. An answer for this question is they can work 24/7. That's one of the key advantages of AI powered tool. Okay, now let's look at for the question number 4. Entrapments occurs when what? And the correct answer is someone is pressured into committing a crime. Okay, so we're moving on to the next scenario-based question. Question number 5. Agent Jeremy is tracking a high-tech thief on the dark web. The thief is bragging about having a database of full names, home addresses, and bank account login. So based on this, what is Jeremy's target? Is it educational software or stolen personal information, maybe mobile phones or computer accessories? What do you guys think the answer is? And the answer is the stolen personal information. So very excellent, everyone who got that right. Okay, hold on, everyone. We only got 2 questions left. Okay, for question number 6, why are AI agents considered different from human undercover officers? So let's see who can hold onto their spot at the top of our leaderboard. Yes, and the answer is they can continually monitor and analyze data quickly. Finally, question Number 7, our last question. What is an important ethical concern regarding AI in law enforcement? And our answer for our question is the possibility of crossing the line into the entrapment. So congratulations everyone who got that right. So, and with that, the final scores are in. Okay, we're looking at of our leaderboard. We have Mia's taking the third place, followed by Nene in the second, and a big congratulations to our top scorer for this round is Nay. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, so a very huge congratulations to our top scorers for absolutely crushing it on the leaderboard. To everyone else who didn't get to join or make it to the top, don't be upset and don't be worried, okay? We have one more interactive quiz coming up later after our next session. But remember, slots are strictly limited too, so you've got to be super fast next time. So stay tuned. We shall now proceed to our second session for this afternoon, titled Ethical Pillars and Human Shield. For this session, we are pleased to welcome Sarah Irdina binti Suhairul, who will be sharing her insight of the ethical pillars as well as safety and red lines in artificial intelligence.
As AI technologies continue to evolve rapidly, it is important for us to understand the ethical boundaries and ensure that AI is used in a safe and responsible way. We are looking forward to hearing your presentation today. Without further ado, let us invite our second speaker for this session, Sarah Irdina. Please welcome.
Hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? If you do, please react some emojis. All right, that's nice. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we continue, are you guys still with me? If you're still here, can I see some reactions in the chat? Or maybe drop any emojis that you like. Okay, let's see who's here. All right. That's nice. I can see there are still many of you here. That's great. Since it's already around 1:30 p.m. here in Malaysia and around 11:04 a.m. in India, I know some of you might be starting to feel a little hungry or sleepy after sitting through the webinar for quite some time. But no worries, okay? I'll try my best to keep this session short, interesting, and hopefully useful for everyone because this will be the final presentation segment before we move on to the Q&A section. Okay, I hope all of you, whether you are joining from UITM or KIT, will be able to gain some valuable insights from today's discussions. So, without further delay, let's get started with section 4.0, ethical pillars. Okay, now we move on into section 4.0. Okay, what is ethical pillars? So, think about a building. A building needs strong pillars to remain standing. Without pillars, the entire structure could collapse. So, the same idea applies to AI systems. AI becomes more powerful in cybersecurity and law enforcement. We need strong ethical foundations to make sure that these technologies are used fairly and responsibly. Without ethics, technology can easily move from protection to abuse. So this is why ethics is not optional in AI systems. It is necessary. Okay, one of the biggest ethical concerns in AI systems is something called the black box problems. So what is this black box? So a black box AI system means that AI makes decisions. Humans cannot fully understand how those decisions were made. All right, I'll give you a situation. Imagine tomorrow you are accused of committing a cybercrime. The judge says, an AI system has determined that you are guilty. Naturally, the first thing you would ask is, why? Why me? what did I do wrong? But imagine the answer is sorry, the algorithm is secret. Would that feel fair? Probably not. And that's exactly why algorithmic due process is so important. This connects directly back to the Jeremy case study that my friend briefed just now. Jeremy's algorithm was kept secret for national security reasons. And as a result, the defense team could not properly investigate whether the AI used illegal tactics or exhibit bias. And this creates a serious ethical dilemma. How can we trust a system if nobody is allowed to examine how it works? So this is why experts advocate something called qualified transparency. What is qualified transparency? Qualified transparency means the full source code may remain protected, but neutral judicial authorities must still be allowed to audit the AI's ethical behavior and the decision-making process. Because at the end of the day, justice should never depend entirely on blind trust in a machine. One of the biggest challenges with AI law enforcement is that the internet has no borders, but the laws still do. Today, a single AI chatbot can interact with people from dozens of countries at the same time. However, every arrest still has to follow the laws of a specific country. For example, we take a look back at the Jeremy's case study. Jeremy operated from a global server and targeted someone from another country. But the actions performed by the country were not actually illegal in their own country. So what does this mean? This means that the AI system was essentially bypassing the local laws, applying foreign enforcement onto another nation's citizen. So imagine a chatbot developed in country A interact with someone in country B. So the chatbot thinks that a crime has happened. But the country B's law say there's no crime was committed. So which country law should we follow? Country A or country B? So that's the challenge governments are facing today. Some experts describe this as creating a digital empire, which means where one country's AI system indirectly policies people around the world. It's not fair, right? So this became an even bigger issue during 2025 and 2026, when multiple international incidents occurred involving people arrested in one country based on conversation with AI chatbot from another country. So this is why national cooperation is key. Two important concepts guides in these discussions are national sovereignty and double criminality. So what does national sovereignty means? National sovereignty means that every country has the right to govern itself independently. Meanwhile, double criminality means someone should only be prosecuted if the action is considered illegal in both countries involved. So this is why experts recommend international digital investigation follow MLATs and LETS, mutual legal assistance treaties to respect the boundaries of the digital economy. Okay, now let us move on into something more personal and more practical for all of us. Okay, cybersecurity is not only the responsibility of governments, police, or AI systems. It is also our responsibility as the digital users. Every day we interact with social media, online shopping, education platform, and AI technologies. All right, before I continue, I have a quick question for our friends from KIP. I did a little bit of research before today's webinar, and I found that many people in India frequently use Amazon for online shopping. May I know if that's true? Maybe some of KIP participants can react yes or no, or even comment. Okay, okay. I can see some reaction. That's great. Here in Malaysia, many students and young adults usually use platforms as Shopee and TikTok Shop for online shopping. In fact, some of us probably spend more time scrolling through Shopee, TikTok, rather than studying sometimes. But whether we are using Amazon, Shopee, TikTok Shop, or any other platform, the same cybersecurity risks still exist. Fake sellers, phishing links, content, fake promotions, and scam messages can happen at anywhere and at any time. And that's exactly why digital awareness is important. Now, if we move from online shopping to online learning, there is another platform shown on this slide, which is MC Plus. So, some of you might not know what is MC Plus. So, MC Plus is basically one of the well-known online education platforms in Malaysia that provides online classes, learning sources, tutors, and study materials for students. Whether we are learning through MC Plus, university learning system, or any other educational platform, we are consistently creating and storing digital information online. Now think about it. Our names, our email addresses, our phone numbers, learning records, assignments, and sometimes even our payment transaction history are stored on these platforms. So protecting our educational account is no longer just an IT issue. It is also part of our digital responsibility. Because these cyber criminals can target online shopping accounts, they can also target educational platforms. And that's why having good cybersecurity habits is important no matter which platform we use. So staying safe online now depends on making the smart digital choices. So here are a few habits that we all need to imply in our daily basis to ensure that we are staying safe online. So the first habit is to verify the source. Today, many AI bots sounds extremely realistic. Some fake accounts may pretend to be customer service agents, online sellers, or trusted organization. So remember, if something online feels suspicious or too good to be true, we should stop and verify the source first. Second, protect your assets. Your personal information is valuable digital currency. Things like bank details, password SMRs, and private photos can become targets for cyber criminals. And once these informations are shared online, it becomes very, very difficult to control where it goes afterwards. And last but not least is to think before you click. Many scams depends on the urgency and panic. And one careless mistakes, one careless click can install malware, expose personal information, and even damage your device. So always pause and think before clicking unfamiliar links. Okay, now let us look at some simple but powerful cybersecurity habits. So these are 4 moves that keep our shield strong. So first, two-factor authentication, or known as 2FA. Okay, so what is this 2FA? 2FA is basically an extra protection beyond just the password. So you guys must enable your 2FA in your online banking accounts, email, even your social apps. Remember, there's no exception. Okay, before I move on to the next point, let me ask another quick question. Okay, may I know who here is using an iPhone? iPhone, yes, iPhone. Yes. Okay, I see there's a lot of reaction, a lot of people raising their hand. Okay, for your information, I'm using an iPhone. And if you're like me, your phone storage is probably almost full because of photos, video, screenshots, selfies. So sometimes Apple releases a new software update and we look at the required storage and think, there's not enough storage. So maybe just update the software next week. But the reality is that these software updates are not only about getting new emojis or even new features. Most updates actually fix security vulnerabilities. Hackers may already know about it. So every time we delay important updates, we may be leaving our devices exposed to security risks. Therefore, whether you are using an iPhone, Android, tablets, or laptop, make it a habit to keep your software updated all the time. Okay, the third, use a strong passwords. Use combination of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbol. And remember, never reuse your password. Okay, last but not least is be careful with public Wi-Fi. Public network can expose your data to attackers, which is why VPNs are important when handling sensitive information. Okay, now we arrived at a very important question. The issue today is no longer can AI help criminals? Because yeah, clearly AI can. But the bigger question is, how far should we allow AI to go? Where should we draw the red lines? Because without human oversight, AI system may become too powerful, invasive, or even unfair. Okay, one major concern is something called the automated guilt. Okay, so what is this automated guilt? Automated guilt happens when AI system labels someone suspicious too quickly. Sometimes based on one click, one conversation, or even one accidental interaction. Okay, for example, we look back at Operation Alice 2026. Experts worry that AI system may incorrectly profile users without understanding the full context. So this is why human oversight remains extremely important. Humans provide empathy, ethical judgment, and cultural understanding. Following the February 2026 global statement on AI, the mission is to ensure transparency. Every student has the right to know if the person they are talking to online is actually a bot designed to test their behavior. You see here? Transparency is very important. People deserve to know whether they are speaking to a human or even a government AI bot. The future goal is to move from black box to AI glass box. Now let me help everyone visualize this. Imagine there are two boxes in front of you. The first box is completely black. You cannot see what's inside of it. You cannot see how it works. You cannot see what goes in, what comes out, or what is happening behind the scenes. All you know is that the box gives you an answer. That's what we call as a black box system. The system makes decisions, but nobody really understands how those decisions were made. Okay, now imagine a second box. This one is made entirely of glass. It's transparent and crystal clear. You can see what's inside. You can see how the things move from one step to another. And this is what we call as glass box system. In the context of AI, the glass box system is transparent, explainable, and accountable. People can understand how decisions are made. Experts can audit the process, and mistakes can be easily identified and corrected. And when people understand how a system works, they are much more likely to trust it. And this is why many experts believe the future of ethical AI should move away from black box towards a glass box system. This is also connects two important ideas, which is first, the digital shield, and secondly, the digital sword. The digital shield protects users from cyber threats. Meanwhile, the digital sword represents ethical enforcement against cybercrime. But remember, the sword must always remain under responsible human control, not uncontrolled algorithm designed to track the easiest target. Finally, the section that everyone has been waiting for, the last part of today's webinar, which is the conclusion. To conclude today's presentation, AI is a very powerful tool. It can improve cybersecurity, assist law enforcement, and even help detect threats faster than human could. But at the same time, AI must always operate within the ethical boundaries. One of the most important principles is the golden rule, human in the loop. AI can process massive amounts of data quickly, but humans still need to provide the empathy, ethical judgment, even the accountability. And remember that the final decision always involve humans. Next, building trust in the digital economy. Cybersecurity is all about trust. Ethical AI systems increase public confidence, while transparent systems, people feel safer online. And finally, the human element technology is only a tool. We must remember that technology itself is not moral or immoral. And remember, AI is only a tool. And the responsibility always belongs to us, humans, the developers, the organizations, governments, and users for their ethical decisions. So, before I end my session today, I would like to leave everyone with one final thought. AI may become smarter every year, but ethics, empathy, and responsibility must always remain human. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you, ITM and KIT students, for your attention.
Thank you, Sarah Irdina, for the insightful sharing with all of us today. From what Sarah Irdina shared earlier, while AI can bring many benefits, ethics and responsibility should always come first.
Yes, the final thought really resonated with us. So now, everyone, it's time to fire up your devices once again for our next interactive quiz block covering Sarah's ethical pillars segment.
May I ask all participants to scan the newly generated QR code on the screen or click on the direct link being shared right now in our chat boxes. Once again, slots are strictly limited to the first 100 fast picks to log in. So worry not if you missed out on the first round. This is your chance to beat up the others. So let's see if our previous champions can defend their throne or if a new challenger will snatch the crown. We will give a few moments for all of you to get ready. Hurry up, everyone. Please join us. We will start in 5. Okay, let's start the quiz now. So, on to our first question. The internet has no borders, but laws do. Is it true or false? You have 20 seconds to answer this question. And yes, the correct answer is true. A great start if you got that one right. Okay, so let's move on to our next question. Why are software updates important? What do you guys think? Is it they improve wallpapers, they fix security holes, or maybe they remove files, or they slow computers? What do you think, Aina?
I don't know the answer. Maybe we get the answer at the end of this.
Okay, please be quick, everyone, and make sure to answer wisely. And yes, they fix security holes. So yes, those update reminders actually do matter. Okay, for our next question, what is the black box problem in AI? Yes, the answer is AI with hidden decision-making logic. So this refers to situations where reasoning behind AI outputs is not transparent. Moving on to our next question, what does algorithmic view process protect? Is it internet privacy or gaming rights or the right to a fair trial or maybe a free software access? Yes, the correct answer is the right to a fair trial. Okay, moving on to our next question. What does double criminality mean? Yes, and that's a crime that must exist in both countries. Cross-border law stuff can be tricky, but most of you got it right. Okay, almost there. On to our next question. What is the golden rule of AI oversight?
Choose your correct answer wisely. Okay, we got only 5 seconds left to answer this. So everyone, please be quick. Yes, to answer this question.
Yes, the answer is humans must remain involved in final decisions.
Yeah.
Yes, AI can assist, but humans are still in charge.
Let's go, everyone. Final
Okay, our
question.
final question. AI may become smarter every year, but ethics, empathy, and responsibility must always remain. Please fill in the blank.
I think everyone got this correctly.
Yes, because it's a pretty
Easy,
easy
yeah.
question.
So hurry up, everyone.
In 3, 2, 1. Yes, the answer is human. I hope everyone got it correctly. So that's the end of our quiz segment. Let's check out the leaderboard and see our top scorers. Looking at our leaderboard, we have Ifa taking the third place, followed by Miao Chante taking the second place, and a big congratulations to our top scorer for this round,
Momo.
Yes, congratulations everyone. Thank you to everyone who participated in the quiz. We hope the activity helped reinforce some of the important concepts shared throughout today's session. Now that we have completed both presentation and quizzes, we will now proceed with our question and answer session.
To all the participants, if you have any question or comments, feel free to type them in the chat box. We would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, we got one question here in the chat box. If AI becomes more accurate than humans at detecting crime, should it be allowed to make arrests without human involvement? I would like to pass the microphone to Khairul or Sarah to look into this question. Please feel free to respond this question. Thank you.
That's a nice question. Coming from who again? Raihana, is it?
Yeah, Siti Nur Aina.
Okay. If AI becomes more accurate than humans at detecting crime, should it be allowed to make arrests without human involvement? No. Like I already explained earlier, even if AI becomes highly accurate, it lacks human qualities such as empathy, ethical judgment, contextual understanding. So AI can identify patterns, but it may misinterpret situations or even fail to consider the unique circumstances. So yes, human oversight is necessary to ensure that we call it as fairness and protect individual rights.
Okay, we have another question from Putri Ilma Nabila. So, could criminals use the same AI technologies that law enforcement uses? If so, what risks would this create? May we have Carol or Sarah to answer this question?
Hello, I think I'll take the question. Okay, Putri asks if criminals use the same technologies that law enforcement uses. If so, what risks would this create? In my opinion, yes, there are risks. Criminals definitely could use AI chatbots to automate scams, impersonate trusted individuals, spread misinformation, as well as manipulate victims more effectively because they have the same technology as the law enforcement use, which is the AI, very advanced. This creates an AI arms race where both law enforcement and cyber criminals continuously develop more advanced technologies. I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Khairul. Okay, we got another question here from Raihana. Should people always be informed when they are interacting with an AI chatbot, even if it's being used for law enforcement purposes?
Okay, since I already answered the previous question, so let me answer this question. Okay, should people always be informed when they are interacting with an AI chatbot? Yes. Generally, like I said earlier, glass box system. AI needs to be transparent, and it is important because people have the right to know whether they are talking to a real person or even a AI chatbot. So, however, informing suspects during undercover investigation may reduce the effectiveness of the operation. So, therefore, there must be a balance between the transparency, public trust, and the law enforcement needs. So, I hope I could answer Rahana. Yeah.
Okay, for our last question, which is more dangerous, AI bias or human bias in law enforcement?
Okay, I think I'd like to answer this question. So from Nurin asks, AI bias or human bias, which is more dangerous? I think both are fairly dangerous because, AI bias can be more difficult to detect because it can affect thousands of people simultaneously and operate at much larger scale. Human bias, in hand, affects only individual decisions, while AI can automate unfair decisions across entire systems if not properly monitored and audited. So AI tends to be a little bit more dangerous, the bias within law enforcement. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah and Khairul, for that comprehensive explanation. To the person who asked, we hope that answers your question and provides some great insights.
Okay, I think that's all for the Q&A question. So we move on to our next section. On behalf of the organizing committee of the Sulam for the ethical, social, and professional issues in ICT project, including the CDCS 230 and CDCS 251 teams, we would like to sincerely thank the Faculty of the Computer and Mathematical Science UITM, our international partners, our speakers, and all the participants joining us today.
We hope today's webinar has given everyone a better understanding of the ethical challenges of artificial intelligence in modern society.
Before we officially sign off and close the stream, let us all cooperate for the singing of our university pride song, UITM di Hatiku.
Thank you, everyone. To freeze this memorable moment in time, we would love to invite everyone for a quick group photo. May I kindly request all lecturers, speakers, committee members, and all participants to switch on your cameras. We will give everyone a few seconds to get ready. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you everyone for your cooperation. Before we end the session, we would like to request everyone to scan the QR code on the screen to complete the session to feedback as well as the post-program survey. Your feedback will definitely help us improve our future programs.
Please take a few moments to fill them out. Do take note that there are two separate forms in total. The first is the feedback form from our morning session, and the second is the session 2 feedback form that you see on the screen right now. Completing both of these forms is required for you to be qualified to receive your digital certificate of the participation. Please note that the certificate will be given via email. So please make sure you have submitted both before you signing off today. So thank you so much, everyone, for your amazing cooperation in high energy throughout today's event.
It has been an absolute honor hosting this session alongside you, Aina, as we officially wrap up the Sulam International webinar on Digital Ethics 101. We hope the knowledge shared today equips you to navigate the digital world safely, responsibly, and ethically.
To our brilliant speakers, our respected lecturers, our technical crew, and our wonderful participants from both UiTM Malaysia and India, thank you for making this cross-border collaboration a huge success.
Until we meet again in our next program, take care, stay secure online, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you and goodbye, everyone.